We only really have the herbs that we go through a lot, and we don't have a lot of people with kidney problems. Now, my celery was going to seed, and celery is an excellent kidney herb. Here are the kidney herbs. So celery, and my parsley is also going to seed, and parsley is another excellent kidney herb. And I have lots of couch grass, and couch grass is another excellent herb. So I picked all of those, and we got her to drink a litre of that tea every day, and the legs went down. Now I'll give you a few others. Corn silk. Corn silk, using the corn silk, you can buy dried corn silk, or you can use the corn silk, ideally out of organically grown, so you haven't got the herbicides and insecticides.
If you are a kidney patient, unfortunately, it has already become a part of your daily life to feel extremely tired, follow strict diets, and deal with swelling from too much fluid. And I know it's quite a painful and disheartening way of living, which you totally hate. But research shows that 90% of kidney patients unknowingly are still making some deadly mistakes that are preventing them from getting out of this life. And chances are, you are also one of them. What if the habits you think are harmless are actually destroying your kidney health? In this video, Barbara O'Neill reveals the critical mistakes most people make and the simple, life-saving steps to protect your kidneys before it's too late. The role of kidneys in your health. Honestly, kidneys are like the quiet, behind-the-scenes workers of your body, but they're absolutely essential. Your kidneys are about the size of your fist, shaped like beans, and they've got a full-time job filtering your blood. In fact, they clean your blood about 50 times every single day. Think of them like the filter in a fish tank. If that filter stops working, the water gets murky and gross, and the fish can't survive. Your kidneys do the same thing for you, keeping your blood clean by getting rid of waste, toxins, and extra water. All that junk leaves your body as urine, neat and simple. But that's not all. Your kidneys are like little multitaskers. They balance electrolytes in your blood, tiny particles like sodium and potassium that keep your muscles moving and your heart beating properly. They even help control your blood pressure by deciding how much water to keep in your system and by releasing hormones that tell your blood vessels to tighten or relax. Without your kidneys doing their thing, your body would be a complete mess, like a house where nobody ever takes out the trash. Naturally, it means kidney damage is sneaky. If something goes wrong with them, you probably wouldn't even notice at first. No pain, no weird symptoms. You'd just keep going about your day like everything's fine. By the time you finally realize something's up, your kidneys might already be on the verge of shutting down. That's horrible. That's why kidney problems are sometimes called a silent killer. And if you have them, you are not alone. Over 850 million people around the world have some type of kidney disease, and most of them don't even know it. Believe it or not, more people die from kidney disease every year than from breast or prostate cancer. And it's not just some rare thing that happens to other people. Everyday stuff like eating too much salty junk food or not drinking enough water can stress your kidneys out. Diseases like high blood pressure and diabetes are the biggest reasons kidneys get damaged, and they're becoming more common everywhere, even in kids.
I'm going to make a list of how you can turn diabetes around. So number one, stop the hybridized wheat. So what do we eat? Let's go down to about 5. What you eat is a high vegetable diet. Remember this, vegetables are high in fiber, high in minerals, low in sugars. Fruit is high in fiber, high in sugar, low in minerals. So when you're looking at turning this around, initially, very little of the fruit. And if you have fruit, it's low GI fruit. And it's not hard to get a glycemic index chart.
If your kidneys completely fail, you'd have to rely on a machine called a dialysis machine to clean your blood, which takes hours and is no walk in the park. Or you'd need a kidney transplant, and let me tell you, there aren't nearly enough donor kidneys to go around. That's why it's so important to take care of your kidneys now, even if they seem fine. But instead, many of you are making these mistakes I'm gonna reveal. Mistake number 1. Overuse of painkillers. Let me tell you something about painkillers that most people don't realize. Those little pills, ibuprofen, aspirin, that you grab when your head's pounding or your back's acting up, they work fast, sure, but they've got a dark side, and it's a big one.
And I was the health speaker, and these girls brought him and said, he's got a sore knee, can you fix his knee? What he's doing is he gets up, takes the painkiller and goes and plays soccer, and then goes and runs around all day. The painkiller is stopping the pain, but the pain is there to tell him, stop. I said to him, every time you take that painkiller, you are losing your message from your body that's telling you to stop. That's why you've got to investigate. Why is it there? Now, every case is different. That's why there cannot be a blanket for every case. You've got to investigate and find out why the pain is there.
Your kidneys really don't like painkillers. And here's why. These drugs mess with the chemicals in your body that keep blood flowing to your kidneys. Without enough blood, your kidneys can't do their job properly. If this happens too often, they can end up damaged for good. And if you start overusing these pills, it's one of the main reasons people end up with chronic kidney disease. Imagine popping a couple of pills for a bad headache, not knowing that it's slowly hurting the very organs keeping you alive. Studies say that 1 in 5 regular users of NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, end up with some form of kidney damage. And if you already have issues like high blood pressure or diabetes, the risk shoots up even more. Barbara O'Neill, the famous health expert who's helped so many people rethink their health habits, says, "We've got to stop depending on painkillers for every little ache and pain." She's all about going natural. She swears by things like turmeric and ginger. Now, turmeric's got a compound called curcumin, which fights inflammation like a pro. Ginger? It's like a natural pain blocker. There are studies showing these two can help with stuff like arthritis pain or sore muscles, and they don't come with the scary side effects of painkillers. Think of it this way. Pain is your body's way of waving a red flag. Instead of shutting it up with a pill, why not figure out what's causing it? If the pain's a regular thing, like arthritis, you can talk to your doctor about other ways to manage it that won't hurt your kidneys. Here's a real eye-opener. Many people don't even realize their kidneys are in trouble until it's way too late. So, next time you reach for that pill bottle, ask yourself if there's another way. Mistake number 2, high-protein diets. Protein is like fuel for your body. It helps you grow, heal, and stay strong. But what if I told you that having too much of it, especially from things like meat, eggs, and cheese, could actually harm you? Well, here's the deal. When you eat protein, your kidneys step in to clean up the waste left behind after your body digests it. But when you go overboard, especially with animal protein, it's like making your kidneys run a marathon every single day. Over time, they get tired. And if your kidneys are already a little worn out, too much protein can speed up the damage. High-protein diets create more urea and acid in your blood, and your kidneys have to work extra hard to flush it all out. For some people, especially those with kidney problems, this can be a fast track to bigger health issues. It's like asking a car with a bad engine to keep driving uphill. It's not going to end well. Barbara says you don't need to ditch protein entirely. You just need to be smarter about where you get it from. Instead of piling your plate with steak and eggs, go for plant-based options like lentils, chickpeas, and beans. Not only are these easier on your kidneys, but they're also packed with fiber, which helps your digestion and keeps your heart happy. Bonus points, they won't mess with your cholesterol levels like meat can.
Why? Remember, we're going to ask why at every step. Well, fibre sweeps the gastrointestinal tract. And if it doesn't get swept every day, it starts to slow down and not work properly. And if the colon doesn't work, the whole body doesn't work. Plus, it is in the fibre part of food, there's often a concentration of the nutrients. Protein's essential. 50% of the membrane around every cell in the body is protein. Remember yesterday we looked at how the new cell is built up with amino acids? My son, James, he inherited my body type. It's hard to put on weight, and that's bad news for a boy because they want to be big. Well, he's big. I can show you a photo of him. He's got muscles now. How did he do that? He worked very hard. He's got his mother's diligence. He just worked at it and worked at it.
If you're thinking, okay, but what do I actually eat? Don't worry, I've got you. Imagine a cozy bowl of quinoa, which is not only tasty but packed with protein and kidney-friendly minerals. Add some steamed veggies like broccoli and zucchini for a pop of color, and toss in some chickpeas or a dollop of hummus. They're delicious and healthy. Or picture a warm bowl of lentil soup with soft, buttery sweet potatoes and spinach, seasoned with herbs that make your kitchen smell amazing. Here's a fun fact. Just by swapping some of your animal protein for plant-based options, you can lower your risk of kidney damage, even if your kidneys are already a bit worn out. But most people are eating nearly double the protein they actually need every day without even realizing it. It's like drinking way too much water and wondering why your stomach feels heavy. Mistake number 3. Dehydration. We all know that your kidney's job is to filter out all the waste and toxins that your body doesn't need, keeping everything running smoothly. But here's the thing. If you don't drink enough water, those machines start to struggle. It's like trying to wash your hands with barely any water. It just doesn't work very well. When your kidneys don't get enough hydration, they can't flush out the bad stuff as easily. Over time, this can lead to kidney stones, which are basically little rock-like things that form when waste materials build up in your kidneys. But it gets worse. Dehydration also makes it easier for bacteria to grow in places where it shouldn't, like in your urinary tract. That can lead to kidney infections, which are no joke. If these infections aren't treated, they can cause lasting damage to your kidneys. Studies show that if you're only drinking about 2 liters of water a day or less, you're more likely to get kidney stones. And if you're not getting enough water, it's almost like you're giving bacteria a chance to invade and cause infections. It's not just about feeling thirsty either. By the time you're thirsty, your body is already telling you it's running low on water. That's why experts like Barbara O'Neill always stress the importance of drinking enough water throughout the day, even when you're not thirsty. She suggests drinking 8-10 cups of water daily, depending on how active you are and your body size. Here's an easy trick. Start your day by drinking a glass of water right when you wake up. Your body has been without water for hours while you were sleeping, so it's craving some hydration. And here's a little bonus tip. Try sipping on some herbal teas too. They count toward your water intake, and they're soothing to the stomach. Plus, teas like chamomile or peppermint can help with digestion and calm any inflammation in your body. It might surprise you to learn that even a little dehydration can make your kidneys work way less effectively. Just being slightly dehydrated can reduce your kidney function by 20%, and that's a big deal. So, stay hydrated as much as possible. Mistake number 4, high sodium diets. We all love a little sprinkle of salt on our food, right? It makes everything taste better. But here's the thing. If you're eating a lot of salt, especially the kind that comes from processed foods like chips, fast food, and canned soups, it can cause big problems over time. You see, salt is made up of something called sodium, and too much sodium can make your blood pressure go up. When your blood pressure gets too high, it's like your blood is pushing too hard against your blood vessels, which isn't good at all.
Table salt will get the blood pressure up, but Dr. Jacques Delangre, when he gets a patient with high blood pressure, you know what he puts them on? He puts them on the Celtic salt. Because what that does is that gets a proper balance of fluid in and out of the cell. And how many in nutrition world today, how many people have gone from overdoing the table salt to no salt? And both extremes are dangerous.
So, if you're constantly eating loads of salt, your kidneys have to work overtime to get rid of all that extra sodium. Eventually, they start getting worn out and don't work as well as they should. This can lead to kidney problems, and believe it or not, almost 1 in 10 people have some kind of kidney disease. And a big part of that problem? You guessed it. Too much salt in the diet. There's a simple solution that health experts like Barbara O'Neill suggest. She says that instead of loading up on processed foods, we should try seasoning our meals with fresh herbs and spices. Think about it. When you cook at home, you can control what goes into your food, and you can make it healthier by choosing fresh ingredients that taste just as good without all the extra salt. Instead of grabbing the salt shaker, Try using things like fresh lemon juice, garlic, or herbs like basil. Trust me, these things can make your food taste amazing. A squeeze of lemon on your salad or fish can add a zesty kick without any of the salty stuff. Garlic? Not only does it make everything taste great, but it's actually good for your heart too. And instead of using salt to season your food, experiment with spices like pepper, paprika, or oregano. These can really bring out the flavor without the need for all that sodium. The cool thing is, if you start cutting back on salt and using herbs and spices more, you'll start feeling better. Studies have shown that reducing salt in your diet can lower blood pressure in just a few weeks. Isn't that a good deal? Mistake number 5, ignoring early warning signs. Now, there are some signs you can look out for. If you're feeling extra tired all the time, like no matter how much you sleep, you just can't shake that worn-out feeling, it might be your kidneys giving you a heads up. Or maybe you've noticed some swelling, especially in your feet, legs, or around your eyes. It might seem like no big deal at first, but it's one of those things you shouldn't ignore. Another thing to watch for is changes in how often you need to pee. If you're running to the bathroom a lot, especially at night, or if it's hard to pee at all, it could be a sign that something's not right. And if your urine looks foamy or bubbly, it's a sign that there might be too much protein in it, which your kidneys usually filter out. When they're struggling, that protein leaks into your urine instead. So, Barbara, who's an expert on this stuff, always tells people to get tested, especially if they have any of these risk factors like diabetes, high blood pressure, or a family history of kidney disease. Those are the big red flags that you might be more likely to have kidney problems. Studies show that if you have diabetes, you're 2 to 4 times more likely to develop kidney issues, and high blood pressure is actually the second most common cause of kidney failure. So it's high time for you to protect your kidney health because your kidneys are working relentlessly for you. How to protect your kidney health? The first thing you need to know is that staying hydrated is a big deal. Your kidneys need water to do their job. Imagine if you were trying to clean a messy room with no cleaning supplies. That's what happens when you don't drink enough water. Sugary drinks like soda or juice with a ton of sugar, those are like giving your kidneys dirty water to work with. Not only do they make your kidneys work harder, but they also bring in a bunch of sugar that can hurt your kidneys over time. Water, on the other hand, is like a nice, clean supply of help for your kidneys to do their job. Then, there's the food you eat. A lot of junk food, especially things packed with salt, can cause your kidneys some serious stress. Too much salt can raise your blood pressure, and when your blood pressure's too high, it makes your kidneys work overtime. That's a recipe for trouble. Instead, load up on good stuff like fruits and veggies, things like cucumbers, bell peppers, and blueberries. Not only are these foods delicious, but they're also packed with good stuff that helps keep your kidneys in tip-top shape. Now, here's the thing. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes, your kidneys are at risk. These conditions put a lot of pressure on your kidneys and can cause them to wear out faster. High blood pressure is one of the top causes of kidney damage, and diabetes isn't far behind. But don't worry. If you can get your blood pressure and diabetes under control, you can prevent a lot of the damage to your kidneys. And then there's the bad stuff, smoking and alcohol. These two things can seriously mess with your kidneys. Smoking can actually increase your chances of kidney cancer, and drinking too much alcohol can dehydrate you, making it harder for your kidneys to filter out the bad stuff. Even 1 cigarette a day can make your kidneys more likely to get sick.
The kidneys also need to be kept warm. Let me show you. Here is the kidneys, and all the little filtering units are on the edge. And the kidneys are near the skin. But if they're allowed to get cold, not a lot of blood is going to go into the kidneys. And if blood's not getting into the kidneys, it's not getting filtered. Then the waste builds up in the blood. And then the person is now diagnosed with urinary tract infection. But what we've got to ask, why? Why are the microbes so busy with the urinary tract infection? Often it's because the person's dehydrated or the person is not keeping their kidneys warm. I find in the middle of summer in America, you've got to look after your kidneys because every room, every house, every building you go into, it's so cold from the air conditioning. So what happens if the kidneys are allowed to get cold? Then the body starts to build up adipose tissue. I think it's called, here's the belt, I think it's called Love flaps, is that right? This. Love handles. So if you want to retain a slender waist, keep it warm. Even just covered so that it does not chill.
But taking care of your kidneys doesn't have to be complicated. Just remember, drink plenty of water, eat good foods, keep your blood pressure and diabetes in check, and stay away from harmful stuff like smoking and too much alcohol. If you do that, you'll be giving your kidneys the best chance to keep you feeling good and healthy. Success, stories and testimonials. A lot of people have turned their kidney health around by listening to Dr. Barbara O'Neill's advice.
She was coming to do our programs a few years ago now. She rang up Saturday night and she said, "I'm very worried about coming to your retreat." I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Well, I'm about to go on dialysis. I'm 57, my legs are swollen, and I'm worried if when I come to your retreat and go through the detox, I'll get worse. Do you have a doctor there?" I said, "We don't, but we will keep a close eye on you." Early that morning, I was praying. I said, "Father in heaven, what do I do with this lady? She's about to go on dialysis." And then God put into my mind a few things. Remember that early morning? My celery was going to seed. Did you know that celery is an excellent kidney herb? My parsley was going to seed. Did you know that parsley is an excellent kidney herb? Couch grass is all through my yard and trying to get into my garden. I'm always pulling it out. Another kidney herb. So I gathered all of this, and what I did was I made her up a litre or a quart of tea every day with the celery seed. I just put the tops in. And I put some ginger in there to make it taste a little bit better so it didn't taste like grass. A litre of water a day and a litre of this tea. And that was far more than she was usually drinking. But I said, you are never to drink a whole glass at once. You have to drink it little by little by little by little. And the kidneys can cope a lot better with that. So Monday morning, she did not walk with the guests. Tuesday morning, she walked with the guests. Her legs had gone down by half.
Take John, for example. He was in his 50s when he was diagnosed with early-stage kidney disease, and the doctors told him dialysis might be in his future. Feeling desperate, he started looking for alternatives and stumbled upon Barbara O'Neill's teachings. He started making some major changes in his life, like cutting out processed foods, reducing salt, and drinking more water. He also followed Barbara's advice on using herbs and natural remedies to support his kidneys. After several months of sticking to the plan, John went back for a checkup, and to his surprise, his kidney function had stabilized. He never needed dialysis and felt better than ever. Then there's Linda, who had struggled with kidney stones for years. She was constantly dealing with painful flare-ups, which meant regular trips to the hospital. After hearing Barbara speak about kidney health, Linda decided to give her approach a try. She switched to a plant-based diet, started eating more water-rich foods like cucumbers and watermelon, and drank herbal teas like nettle and dandelion root. Within 6 months, Linda noticed she was having far fewer issues with kidney stones. Her doctor confirmed her kidneys were functioning better than before. And there's another man in his 60s who had chronic kidney disease. After listening to Barbara, he began detoxing, drinking alkaline water, and juicing more fruits and vegetables. His doctor was amazed at how much his kidney function had improved. It's amazing how following some simple, natural practices really helped them turn their kidney health around. So, you see, this is not only a theory. You also can revive your kidneys for real. And if your kidneys are already working fine, don't let common mistakes put them at risk. By avoiding these habits, you can protect your kidneys for years to come. What mistake do you make already? And what steps are you taking to care for your kidneys? Share your tips in the comments and subscribe for more life-saving advice from Barbara O'Neill. See you soon.